Pike's pushed more and Farrell up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the JPB Clio Cup Season 4, Round 1 from Interlagos. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth, well, hopefully by Mr. Zach Sweeney, but we will see here as well. You're wondering why we've got the Keep Fighting Craig up in the description, up in the title, up in the top right hand corner. Today the JPB community was rocked by the news that my friend, my admin, one of the Clio Cup drivers, Craig Jones, had a cardiac arrest this morning. He is currently in hospital on life support. They're gonna, hopefully he is in an induced coma, which we're praying and hoping that he comes out of. We will know more tomorrow as well, and we will hopefully have Greg back racing alongside us, as he has always been the vocal part of JPB. He's worked with me on BDLV. He's done a lot with me over this period of time that we've been going as well. So if you can, obviously, hashtag Keep Fighting Craig in YouTube chat as well. We've got the drivers have stuck Keep Fighting Craig over the cars, and on their decal layers as well we'll have the hashtag Keep Fighting Craig. We will have this on the GT4s and also the NASCARs as well, for the fun event taking place on the 27th. We're hopeful, obviously, that he'll be home and being able to enjoy the Christmas time with Gemma, his wife, Elliot, and Kyan, who we know that's done the BDLV commentary as well. So just thoughts and prayers go out to Craig and his family, and hopefully he will make a speedy recovery and be able to join us once more on the track. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody. If we can just keep the hashtags coming in and any comments down below after, that will be absolutely amazing. We've decided to run the race in honor of Craig as well, so he can hopefully watch it back after he makes a full recovery, praying and hopeful and everything else. So thanks so much. Sorry if it's a bit more somber than normal. We will try and give it a show that we always do, but it's just rocked the JPB community this morning. Me personally knowing Craig, the friend, talking to him literally last night, has really shook me up today. So let's hope for a good race. We've got 22 cars on track as well. We've got new drivers. Luke Maxwell's come in. We normally know Luke from the SR10s. We've got Wayne Palmer's come back as well. The likes of John Bailiff, Carl Ridley, Mark Draper. We've got returning Adam Dalmont, Pete Newman. You're obviously your champion. Eric Manenfield has come into it here as well. We've got obviously Dan Lewis, Roger Morton. All the normal suspects have come back, along with David Ayres, who obviously was last season's AM champion, is now pro. So he's also come back in as well. But yeah, it's been a tough day for us all. Let's bring Zach into the booth. Zach, good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, obviously it's been quite a suspenseful day in fairness. Obviously thoughts, feelings and everything go out to Craig and his family, of course. But the show must go on, and he would want the show to go on. Of course, it means that someone else can now win a trophy that he has plenty of, and of course they will vie for the Craig crown. The Clio Craig crown is what we'll call Interlagos, is what we'll go with. And I'm sure obviously when he is recovered he'll be able to come and watch and enjoy the amazing racing that the Clios are able to put on week in, week out, racing that Craig has put on some pretty feisty moves for. And of course he is a very feisty fellow, so fingers crossed that he will emerge with a full recovery. And well, all we can do is hope and pray. But in terms of the season opener, Interlagos, fantastic round to kick things off at, and hopefully these guys can kick it off with a good show.
Yeah, we can see Pete Newman and Carl Hardy on track at the moment as they're going up the top part of the circuit through the Ferradura, through SA, down into Pinarino here once more, that tricky in section. The track is longer than normal. The schedule we are able to show you up on the screen at the moment. We will be going to Interlagos, as I say, today. Then we're off to Canadian Tire, Mosport, then the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, which is the national circuit. Hockenheim National, Lime Rock Classic, Motorland Oregon Outer Circuit with the Nürburgring Sprint Strecker Circuit in there as well. Okayama Fall is joining the affray this year with Summit Point Raceway, and then we're going to round off this evening with, this season, with Sukubu Fall, which I love. Some people don't. It's going to be a very interesting evening as well at Sukubu. I think there's some great tracks up for everyone. You know, there's a lot of longer tracks, there's shorter tracks. We've got a good mix this season.
Yeah, I mean, with the Clios, we've always said that they're a very versatile thing. You mean, like we've said, I mean, they can go to Grand Prix circuits, they can go to club style circuits, they can go pretty much anywhere and still have a fairly decent race. So I think we've got a good blend. Obviously, we take the small little break from the 18th to the 8th, which have obviously that Christmas time, because as fun as the Clios are, I think everyone does deserve a couple of weeks off. So obviously we'll have that short little break between Mosport, and then we kick things off back again in Barcelona. The one I'm looking forward to most, I have to say, probably Tsukuba on the 26th of February. I have to say, Tsukuba is it's a circuit that I was initially introduced to on GT Sport in go-karts, shifter karts. And that tells you everything you need to know about Tsukuba, is the fact that it's a racetrack that go-karts can race at. These Clios, they're basically just bigger go-karts, I suppose, and front-wheel drive. So, yeah, I think they'll be a ton of fun at Tsukuba, albeit a little bit carnage and maybe a bit more single-file than we'd expect, but it should be quite an interesting challenge.
Yeah, it definitely should be. I think Tsukuba will be a very exciting racetrack. There's some very up and down circuits as well. If any of the racing, you've not enjoyed, going to enjoy this season, blame me on that one. Basically, I picked the circuits. I've gone through it all, and hopefully we will have a great season of racing. We've got a good mix of pro-and-ams once more. Here, the slight changes to the system, to the actual score system this season as well. I've added some bits in just because I thought, well, I can. So I have added that they will get a point for qualifying on pole position. They will get a point for the fastest lap in each race. Over the heat section is 25 points for a win now, 20 for second, and then down in order. So 19, 18, 17. One drop round. This cannot be taken over the last 2 rounds, and they do have to complete 75% of the race distance to be classified for points. As we know, there was a little bit of controversy last season about people sitting in the pits. We've nipped that in the bud. They have got to complete 75% of the racing to basically be classified, Zach, which stops that whole crashing out on lap 1 and sitting in the pits and still getting points.
Yeah, which is obviously a good thing, because they're racing drivers. They're going to do that. Of course they are. If there's an opportunity to get points, then of course they will. But points are an award. They're something that you earn, that you're given, that means something in the grand scheme of the championship, and they're not really something you should just get by doing a lap, crashing out, sitting in the pit lane and getting points for, say, 15, 16, whatever place it might be, because while you are still classified, you are classified ahead of those that didn't finish as such. So if there are 10 DNFs and there are 20 people racing, by not doing anything, you can get yourself a top 10 as such, or something crazy like that, which you've not necessarily earned that top 10 as such, because you've not been on track, you've not taken the risk, you've not driven, you've not had the consistency or anything like that. So it's a good rule to have in place, and as you say, just nips it in the bud, just stops people getting points that aren't deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see, some of the new guys are back on track again, and I say that back because John Bailiff has been here before with Carl Ridley. David Ayres is obviously a pro now, last season's AM champion, with Roger Morton moving up to pros at the moment as well. Roger doing a good job and a good station of himself, sitting in second place here as well on a 150.33. Pete Newman back again, new team. He's obviously in the Results Pure Sims team. So there you go. It's actually, no, that's actually not correct. Oh my dearie me. It is now the Results Clothing Esports team, Mr. Sweeney. So Pete Newman is in a different scenario this season, shall we say.
Yeah, he's taken a bit of a breath of fresh air, I suppose, for Pete Newman. Of course, was always that man at Pure Sims. I mean, he still has got Pure Sims on his livery, so maybe just a bit of a split partnership or something, I suppose. Maybe representing Results for the Clios and doing Pure Sim stuff elsewhere, potentially. But yeah, all in all, he's just a great driver. I don't really think it matters what livery he's got. He'll still drive like a Pete Newman.
Yeah, exactly. What was he last season? Waitrose Gravy? Wasn't he Waitrose Gravy?
Marks and Spencer's, weren't it?
Oh, I don't know. It was an expensive brand anyway that we've called it, so I'm sure there as well. Edward Parfitt's back again this season. He's for the JPB Racing team. Him and Dan Lewis have got a brand new livery. You can see it there, and very bright and beautiful. That they've gone full out on liveries this season as Dan Lewis and Edward. Edward's leading away in the AMs at the moment on a 151.27. Great job from him. Adam Dalmont, of course, the nearly man, I suppose, Zach, for last season. Finished second. Come down really to a couple of silly errors and a couple of silly mistakes, but for Adam himself, he's coming back trying to be a bit more definitive, a bit more he might killer instinct, lead from the front and stay there.
Yeah, I think that has got to be what he has. I mean, he's got to come into the season with confidence, right? That was the biggest downfall that Delmont had over the course of last season, is he lacked that cutthroatness, the lack of mercy. He was always really good until he wasn't, and he just lacked that extra 5%. Hopefully this season he finds that little extra that can tip him, but that last lap, that's all he needs. He needs one extra lap, does Adam Delmont. Let's see how he does today.
Yeah, grid is up there as well. You can see the pros out the front. Adam Dalmont in here, pole position. He gets that point. Roger Morton in second. Pete Newman third. Carl Hardy fourth. Then Luke Maxwell, who we know is normally in an SR10, in fifth with John McHutchinson. Eric Maneveld in seventh. Carl Jacklett eighth. Mark Draper ninth. Carl Ridley in 10th. John Bailiff in 11th. Then we go into the AMs. It's Edward Parfitt leading the way with Jason Morrison, Jack Andrews, Dan Lewis, Wayne Palmer, Paul Godden and Ollie Ricks. And then we'll finish off with David Ayres, Charles Kellerman, Andy Littler, Sir Alan Toon and Chris Dixon, who has come back and joined us once more here. So an epic evening of racing. As we can see, one of the weapons of choice, which is Adam Dalmont's SRL Next Gen Gold livery. Tied in, he is partnered with Mark Dalmont this season. So that should be an interesting partnership there as well from them all, with Carl Hardy, Luke Maxwell, John McHutchison combining up for the team Radline, and then Eric Maneveld, Send It or Bend It, and then the Win It or Bin It of Carl Ridley. So a lot of fierce competitors this season. It's going to be an exciting one, but let's get round one up and running and underway here at Interlagos, one of my favourite circuits, if not the most favourite circuit ever. So let's see what these drivers can do. 4 lights, 5 lights are on. And we are green, green, green here at Interlagos for the first race of Season 4 of the JPB Clio. As you can see, all the cars rushing down, but it is Adam Dalmont leading the way with Roger Morton behind him. Pete Newman giving him a good old run. Carl Hardy's in there as well. It's looking like everybody's going to make it through turn 1 at the moment. They have done, up and running, and a great spirit from all of them. They've made it all round turn 1. Adam Dalmont did what he had to do. Pete Newman and Carl Hardy both jumped Roger Morton right at the beginning here as well and lead us away here, Zach. Very great start from Adam Dalmont. He's done what he had to do. He got out in front.
Yeah, and now is just a case of control. I mean, of course, he's fighting up there with Pete Newman, understandably so. Both of them kicking off the season in the best form possible, but there are 20 long grueling minutes, well, make that 19 now, I suppose, left of this race, and Adam Dalmont is usually good for the next 18 of them. Pete Newman is going to know that after the experience of last season. Let's see if Dalmont's used the week off positively. He's come back, he's got a bit more cutthroat instinct, and he's raring to go here at Interlagos. But so far, so good. A long train, no one at all separated by more than a second so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a run of the masses. Everybody is through. Wayne Palmer, David Ayres looks like, unfortunately though, they may have made contact here, and there is Wayne Palmer in the Sim Stickers livery, and David Ayres on the outside. Is he going to clip him? He is, and around the front he goes, unfortunately for them too. They both end up coming back on the circuit as well. They've still got time to get up and running, so let's see what happens here once more. It's Luke Maxwell in the middle. He has got Carl Ridley and John Bailiff right behind him. He's trying to get on to the Mr. Consistent Carl Jacklett here in this race as well. TCR AM champion is Carl, so this should be a great one for him back here as well. Carl Ridley, also the Australian. I dread to think what time currently it is for Carl. It's very, very early, and he's taking the 10th spot at the moment. not up to where he normally is at that front row. And then we got Edward Parfitt tucked in behind him still, leading the AMs currently once more. So great little fights developing here, Zach, all the way through the field. It's like people have never left.
No, I mean, just goes to show the raceability and the drivability of these Clios. Really easy to just jump into and feel at home with, especially for drivers that have done it before. There you can see maybe a bit of a look there from, I believe, Mark Draper trying to think of going for a move on Andrews, but unfortunately no way through for him on this particular occasion. Of course, he would like to find his way a little bit further forward. But I have to say, fair play Edward Parfitt. He's kicking off the season in style.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's in 11th at the moment. He's ahead of Mark Draper, who I don't know really what happened to Mark. He hasn't gone off track anywhere. He just got overtaken a lot, what looks like at the beginning. But some great running here as well from all of them. Mark and Jack Andrews are going side by side currently here as well. Mark for the SRL, Jack on the inside. The young lad, of course, in his 16 years of age here as well. He's got to be 17 by now, I'm sure. But I think he still might only be 16. Carl Hardy's stepson, of course. And Carl sitting in third place at the moment. He's being chased down by Roger Morton, who has got the Scotsman of John McHutchison right behind him here as well. Fighting all the way through the field, literally from John Bailiff. There is a strewn of cars all behind him here. So let's see how this one develops right the way down to Sir Alan Toome, David Ayres and Wayne Palmer. Then we get a gap, but at the moment it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 cars fighting it out on the track here for places between 9th and 20th. Absolutely meaty as Carl Jackalett and Luke Maxwell are going side by side down into turn 1 here. Great racing so far, Zach. This is, this is just awesome with everybody coming back. People, oh, that was a big old dose of netcode in the middle of Mark Draper there. Unfortunately, it looks like Jason Morris may have also got caught in that one. That was no contact there, Zach. That was a fairly obvious situation.
Yeah, of course, there was a bit of a squeeze, but I think in the end of it, no fault on either driver in that regard. There's Carl Jackalett, of course, really kicking this season off fairly strong, in fairness, mixing it up with some of the big boys. Side by side, he fights with Luke Maxwell. They run their way through the complex at turn 4 and 5 now into the long right-hander here at 6. It's the outside line for Maxwell. I think he's going to try and catapult his way through. Front-wheel drive, of course, makes it even more difficult to make moves like that stick, but Jackalett has given him the space. Of course, he's now got the inside line for the next turn at turn 8. Big lock-up, though, as he runs his way through the rear right wheel, even lifting up, just to show how much he is on the limit. Cheers, Pete Newman, for that fact last season at Zandvoort. And now he's running his way quite well in 7th, but Maxwell's given him a good fight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's scrapping away as Maxwell trying to come back through here as well. Dan Lewis and Paul Godden going side by side as well. Some great action in the AMs. The AMs are very close this season. We've got a good split here. We haven't gone and really got it wrong ever in hindsight with the AMs and the pros, and I don't think we've got it wrong again here. Adam Dalmont's been caught by Pete Newman. Roger Morton's coming up with John McHutchison and Eric Manifeld, and once more there's still battles going on. Chris Dixon's taken a diver off the side of the circuit. It looks like Dan Lewis may have had something to do with that as well. Oh, they managed to... Oh, who's Jack Andrews? No! Was that Jack in the number 5 car there? Was it Jack? It was. He sent it 3 wide and called all a bit of drama there, Zach. Not a good idea, that one.
No, far from it, in fact. Yeah, not great, unfortunately. We have got a very good fight for the lead manifest. We've got 6 cars. Newman now from Dalmont, Hardy, Morton, McHutchison and Mannetveld running off the top 6. All of them nose to tail, of course. All of them with a good chance of winning this race potentially. There you can see in the background just Roger Morton eyeing up that move on Carl Hardy, but no way through for now. Have to say for Dalmont, after losing that lead to Pete Newman, who of course has catapulted himself into the race lead, he needs to launch a counter-attack sooner rather than later, because it is going to be far too easy to be swallowed up into that pack. Yeah,
absolutely. It will be here as well. Luke Maxwell's trying to keep up as well. He's the first time in the Clios is Luke, and has come along under with John McHutchison's teammate, who is locked up here with Roger Morton and Eric Manifeld. Edward still leading the AMs at the moment. He'll be well chuffed with himself. I'm never going to hear the end of it if my son actually wins a race here. It's going to be absolutely horrendous in my household currently, so let's, I hope he does, but boy oh boy is he going to be a nightmare. Charles Kellerman has got Paul Godden, Andy Littler and Mark Draper and Jack Andrews coming through here as well. Pockets starting to develop here, Zach, but good racing still though as we look at this front five at the moment, front six, sorry, with Eric Manafeld still going at it as well, using that long draft of that run out of Juncal right the way round down into turn one. Absolutely epic racing as it always will be.
Of course, it's the Clio Cup, and that's it. It's the Clio Cup, full stop. I mean, not really much more that you can add to that. The racing speaks for itself. The drivers speak for themselves. They always know how to deliver. Give them a great venue in the form, of course, of Interlagos, and you will be given some fantastic racing. Delmont is eyeing up that move, but for whatever reason, just can't quite get into the strike zone for whatever it might be, whether it's Pete Newman is a little bit quicker, whether Delmont lacks the bravery or the courage to outbrake, a champion, or he's or there just isn't an opportunity for him to do so, or he's just waiting for that mistake. There are so many different reasons why he wouldn't go for it, but he needs to find a reason to go for it, and that needs to come rather soon, I'd imagine, for Delmont.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Delmont really needs to lay down a marker right at the beginning, I think, as well. I don't think he can afford to give Pete the opening race win. It's kind of that psychological situation. Newman's made a mistake, mind you. Delmont's trying to get onto the back here as we look off at the roof of Carl Hardy. There with the Keep Fighting Craig hashtag as well. Don't forget you can put that in YouTube chat, guys, as well, as we're nearly entering into the last 10 minutes of race one. 3 races, top 10 reverse for race 2, top 15 for race 3. So we could see an interesting scenario is at the moment Edward Parfitt sitting in second place in race 2 with Kyle Ridley on pole position. So let's see how this one works out as Delmont's trying to follow Pete Newman like a dog trying to get over your leg here as well as he's going down into turn 1. Onto the brakes we go. Get these cars chopped straight, dipping it into turn 1. Now off through the center S's to right and the left, and then on that run down through Reda Raposta here once more on lap 6 of heat 1, and some absolute barnstorming efforts going on from Adam Delmont. Is he stalking Pete Newman? Is he hounding him like, is the lion stalking his prey here?
Maybe so. Delmont, yeah, maybe he's just lining it up, but usually lions aren't hunted themselves. And unfortunately for Delmont, he's sort of caught in the middle of the food chain as opposed to being an apex predator. And he's got Carl Hardy, Roger Morton, Cutcherson and Manavelt, who will all very firmly take his spot as king of the jungle if he doesn't chase after the gazelle of Pete Newman sooner rather than later. He needs to find a way through. And yeah, maybe he could stalk his prey. That's all well and good when it's them, just 1v1, chilling out in the savannah. But when there are other people prowling about, waiting for an opportunity to scoop up some points, then I don't know, there's only so long that you can play with your food.
Yeah, definitely. I fully agree with you as well. Go Mini You, says Robert Stoughton. Well, we normally nicknamed him Mini Me there as well, but I believe John Brown has got some names going on there for myself and my boy, Path Daddy and Path Diddy. I don't know about that. What do you think?
Path Diddy's alright.
Path Diddy? I like it. I like it.
Path Daddy, maybe not so much.
Yeah, Path Diddy's quite interesting. As Charles Kellerman is holding on to Mark Draper with Andy Littler and Jack Andrews there. The Charles Kellerman and Jack from the same team, the genuine recycled by result team, battling away, and is Mark Draper going to try and get through here as they're running round now down this long start finish curve straight, if you really want to be pedantic about it, but it probably is more banked to the left than it is an actual straight. Up goes Mark Draper, late on the brakes, past Charles Kellerman he goes. Andy Littler wants a piece as well, just misses out there, does Andy. Jack's now trying to have a go with Andy Littler. He's going to ask for the inside. Is Littler going to give it to him here as well? He did give him that room there. Jack, great move overall there, Zach. Great opportunist move, dipped up the inside when the space arose.
Yeah, that's all you need to do wait for an opportunity, seize the moment, and don't waste it. Of course, the fight's not done yet. He still has that fight going into the next braking zone, but I think he's just been able to get it sealed as they ride their way down through the roller coaster, now through 5. And then we go back to this train here, a bit further up. Mick Hutchinson trying to get himself onto the back of Roger Morton just ahead for 4th, and that three-way fight for the lead. They have got to be careful though, because in fairness to Delmont and Newman, they're branching away. That gap is a little bit bigger. They're no longer nose to tail. Carl Hardy's now sort of the connector between the two packs. He's hanging on to the two in front, and then sort of hanging on to the 3 behind, and keeping everyone nice together just in this slipstream train. But Carl Hardy doesn't start driving quicker, he'll be very quickly swallowed up by Roger Morton. Yeah,
he absolutely will. He's going to be there. Morton trying to make an impact in the pros this season after being in AMS last season. Carl Ridley is giving Mini-Me a run for his money. What is Mini-Me going to be able to do? Can he hold on and keep Carl Ridley behind him? There's no real reason to. This is where I'm hoping Mini-Me has got a little bit of sense about him at the moment, in realising that he doesn't have to battle Carl Ridley. But to be fair to him, on pace, Ridley's 151.4. Edwards only 151.5. Best times at the moment. You know, at the end of the day, if he hasn't got to move over, I suppose for Mini-Me he doesn't have to, but possibly it wouldn't be a too far off a smart idea.
No, maybe not. I mean, it depends how much Ridley can just go as such. I mean, Parfitt is going to want him to not slow him down. I mean, again, he's got a bit of a gap back to Ollie Ricks, but there is the move on Ridley, who, he is showing some signs of being slightly quicker, but if he makes mistakes like that and just invites Parfitt to go back up the inside, because Parfitt had no other choice but to go back up the inside there, it was that or slam his brakes on to allow Ridley to stay in front. Now they're being forced to go side by side into the next corner. Then Carl Jacklitz comes knocking. Around the outside goes Edward Parfitt, or at least going to look. This is just opening the door for things to go drastically wrong. Jacklitz chucks the move to the inside. Of course, he's been in pursuit of Ridley, but Parfitt, I think, just got really unlucky there. He was trying to do the right thing, and in doing so, lost a good couple of seconds. Yeah, he's still got 3 seconds over Ollie Riggs, but you'd prefer it to be sort of 4 or 5. And, well, at least now, I suppose, he can just sit in the slipstream and use some of the draft from the pros.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little message on the front of their car as well, Mr. Sweeney. I don't know if you can read what it says on their front under their lights there as well on Edwards and no, you can't. Okay, well, maybe we'll give you a bit of a better shot here as well and see if you can actually make out what they've done to their car.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Me. There you go. Dan Lewis decided that he would give you a little bit of a promotional push and stick you on their car there as well, as it's all going off on front here with Pete Newman, Adam Delmont, Carl Hardy, Roger Morton, John McHutchinson. These 5 have broken away from Eric Manifield there as well. Carl Hardy past Delmont, Delmont past Hardy, Morton past Hardy as well. Jack Andrews has gone past Charles Kellerman, his teammate. So it's all going off at the front here, Zach, as well, with these guys battling away in these little Clios that provide such nippy racing. I do honestly think, guys, if anybody wants the best racing, they probably had do 2 things: A, come and join the Clios, or B, get yourself in trucks on AC as well, because they were absolutely incredible. I love driving them, but the front 2 have started to break away here now, opening up a 1.1 second gap over these 4 who really cannot sort themselves out at all.
I don't think he could physically be closer, Roger Morton, to Carl Hardy. Like, there was nothing, absolutely nothing to separate those 2 cars. I'm surprised iRacing didn't intervene with some good old healthy doses of netcode, in fairness. But Roger Morton having so much trust in Carl Hardy just to ride that close to him is absolutely insane. And again, another testament to how good these Clios are. I do love the sort of the comparisons used. We've got the Clios, which give great racing, and we've got trucks, which give great racing. I don't think you could be further from 2 extremes in terms of trucks to Clios. You've got however many tons a truck is, and then these little nippy Clios which weigh absolutely nothing in comparison, and yet both of them give equally good racing in their own respects. We've got side by side here as well, of course, with Roger Morton now deciding to get out of the rear end of Carl Hardy and now pull himself alongside. We've then got John McHutchinson trying to move his way alongside as well. Then here's Manifield trying to finally pick his way into the fight, but I don't know, maybe getting some cold feet.
Yeah, I do love Kev Aylett in chat there. Did somebody say trucks? I do have to thank Kev. You got to admit, I don't know if anybody watched it. The trucks weigh, I'll give you a precise figure, 5.2 tonne here as well. The Clios weigh about 5.2 pounds. As we can see, these guys going almost 3 wide down here. McCutcheon sticking his nose up the inside of Roger Morton. Gone 3 wide. Carl Hardy sweeps round the outside. Great racing from these four as Eric Manifield now on that run up into the Ferradura before they go round to SA. Battling away here as well. Some great racing between these four going on now as well. Kyle Ridley and Kyle Jacklett and Edward Parfitt is now breaking away from Mark Draper and Paul Godden at the moment as Edward. He's got nearly a 5-second gap here. My boy's on fire as Roger Morton loses the place to John McCutcheon and goes after Eric Maniveld here once more. Maniveld looking up the inside, gets the job done. Round Pico de Pado now. It's going to be 2 wide. Off round Magello coming into Juncao. The left-hander up the hill, of course. They've got this. Now he wants to put it out on the right-hand side. There you go. He needs to run that line to make sure he can get through here. Luke Maxwell with a bit of lonely drive in the middle. 3 seconds in front, 3 seconds behind, and doing well for his first outing. He only bought the Clio this morning, Zach.
Hang on, and he's got a P next to his name.
Yes.
James Parfitt.
His blinking I rating's massive. His I rating's like nearly 4.5k. I can't stick him in the arms with that.
I'm nominated for a Simi, doesn't make me a good commentator.
Well, this is also true. We're aware that isn't the case, so you know what I mean.
I'm just saying.
There we go, guys. You can get voted in the Simmies. Me and Zach have had the privilege of being nominated with some great other commentators. We have made it through to the final 10, so it will be a battle over the JPB boys as well. I know Zach works for other people, but we'll ignore that for a minute. We can't help it. You know, he's got to do what he's got to do to get the pennies in, and if that involves working for others, well, you know, we'll let him have that one once more. But we are in the VCOs. If anybody...
Give me the pennies.
I do give you them. I give you more than anybody else. So
what?
Just call the racing. Get on with it. You know what I mean? How rude there, Mr. Sweeney. So, but from 4 coming back together again, Newman, Delmont, Hardy, we're going to be, this is, I think, they're going to be the final lap here, Zach. I don't think they're going to make it through anymore. The final lap of the race, it's all going to be, is Delmont going to give him the run up that long straightaway, do we think, coming out of Juncao?
He's going to have to. This is his final opportunity. It is do or die right now, and he does not want to start the new season on the same foot he ended the last. Right behind Pete Newman. This is the final proper corner to go. He's tucked up nicely behind the result machine, but is it a good enough run? That is going to be the question. It's a long run towards the checkered flag line, but I don't think so. I don't think there's a strong enough slingshot.
Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly. Is Delmont going to look at taking that inside line, or is Newman going to send him round the outside? He does send him round the outside. Here he comes now. He's probably sitting in that car praying, but it is going to be Pete Newman over Adam Delmont. Carl Hardy finished off there as well in the AMs. It looks like Edward Parfitt is going to take the AM win. Parfitt Jr. taking the AM win, and I've got to be honest, fairly convincingly over Paul Godden here as well. Godden getting second place with Ollie Ricks in third. So Mini-Me is going to be desperately a nightmare to live with here now. And Wayne Palmer battling away with Jason Morris as they're coming over the line as well. Palmer comes over in 8th in class, Morris in front, and then we're just waiting for Chris Dixon there as well. Adam Delmont, what's he got to do here? He's down 1. Newman's on, up 2. Started 3rd, takes the victory. Are we going to see a repeat of last season? Surely Delmont's got to come back with a bit more steelies than that, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I don't know what he needs, because he had all the ingredients. He had a pole position. His consistency was good. He didn't really make any mistakes. I think it is just he's too nice. He's too by the book, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Follow the rules, of course. Follow the rules, but you know, just give him a little bit of a bend. Just
Are you saying that pushing him off is that what you're getting?
No,
at?
no, no. I didn't say push him off. I just said invite him for a picnic on the grass. Or give him a little bit of encouragement. Just get frisky.
We're talking about motor racing, right? You know what I mean? It's
what Adam
all or
Dunlop and
nothing.
Pete Newman do in their own time is another thing. If Adam Dunlop wants to finish second in more ways than one, then he's by all means he can. But in terms of the racing, he needs to get a little bit more aggressive.
Right, here are the results for race 1 once more. And it is Pete Newman on pole with Adam Dalmont in second, Carl Hardy third, John McHutchison fourth, Roger Morton in fifth, Eric Vandervelde in sixth, Luke Maxwell, great outing in his first time in the Clios in seventh, with John Bailiff, Carl Jacklett and Carl Ridley rounding out the top 10. Edward Parfitt taking the win in the AMS with Mark Draper in second, and then you got Paul Godden and Ollie Ricks. They are your 1, 2, 3 in AMS. Jack Andrews, Charles Kellerman and Andy Littler there for 15th to 17th, and then David Ayres coming in 18th. Then you've got Jason Morris, Wayne Palmer, Chris Dixon, Dan Lewis and Sir Alan Toon, who is 4 laps down. We can't bring you up the grid for race 2. Carl Ridley will be on pole position with Carl Jacklett in second, John Bailiff third, Luke Maxwell in fourth with Eric Manifield in fifth, Roger Morton in sixth, John McHutchison seventh, Carl Hardy eighth, Adam Dalmont ninth and Pete Newman in 10th. Then you've got Edward Parfitt in 11th with Mark Draper and Paul Godden in, and Ollie Ricks rounded out the top 14. Jack Andrews, Charles Kellerman, Andy Littler and David Ayres, they're down to 18. Jason Morris, Wayne Palmer, Chris Dixon, Dan Lewis and Sir Alan Toon is the last one here as well. Let's see what happens and whether or not they're all going to get onto the grid, and hopefully we should see some more epic racing here, Zach.
Well, yeah, let's bring it on. I mean, again, it's another 20 minutes. It's more reverse grid action and it's more Interlagos. So I think we've got a perfect recipe for success. That rivalry between Adam Dalmont and Pete Newman, though, I think is going to be that's where my eyes are going to be peeling.
Yeah, Roger Morton there as well. They've got 5 minutes to get on to this race here as well. I just had a moment of panic because, as we know, normally the admins have to extend the gridding. So we have Roger has kindly extended it there as well. Did we see the pass for P1? We did. It was right near the beginning, dear sir, as well. A whole ocean between that net code, says Paddy Faulkner. Absolutely. There was a lot going on. Everyone, good evening, Darryl Wright as well. Keep fighting, Craig. We need you to back on track and in Discord with your humour. I'm sure Zach needs Craig back more than anything else because we know Craig and Zach have this love-hate relationship. So, you know, we'll hopefully see Craig back there as well. And Kev Aylett there, they did prick up while editing, he said, as we got the 5-minute countdown when we were talking about trucks. So, yeah, it's very interesting here as well because I do love the trucks, Zach. The trucks are absolutely incredible. So if you haven't ever driven them, I do recommend it.
No, again, I need to get myself a Logitech or a cheap Thrustmaster or something, just have on my desk.
That's what I did. I borrowed Edward's wheel, strapped it to the desk, and off I went.
That is that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I'm just go on Facebook Marketplace, spend 100 quid, off you go, really.
Yeah, you can come and get involved in the track. Also, as well, I will say one thing I'd like to point out. I know this is not good news for Kev Aylett and Tom Woodcock, but I did beat them too in the 90s BTC touring cars the other day.
That's embarrassing.
I know. I won in the Alpha 155 at Donny, mate. I hooked it up. The car was literally on rails. It did everything I wanted to do. It is absolutely incredible. The only thing I did do in the first race, I did eat its tyres. Kev did chase me over the line in race 1, but I did beat 2 TCR drivers.
Fair enough.
It was good. Thank you. Good evening, Mike Pousson. Good evening, Robert Stoughton as well. You want trucks for iRacing, mate? I would love trucks for iRacing, but trucks in AC at Thruxton was absolutely incredible. Trucks at Thruxton was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. I have to be honest. It
fastest
really was.
Circuit in the UK with the vehicles that have the least likelihood of stopping.
Yep, and they only go 100 mile an hour. It was literally
100 mile an hour for them is like supersonic speed.
Yep, it was.
Considering they're capped at 60 on the motorway.
It was the most fun I've ever had. And if I can get a line in here from, obviously, Craig, he turned around and said it's the best racing he's ever had in a sim. So, big words. But let's get this race up and running now. Race 2 is going to be underway. Carl Ridley on pole with Carl Jacklett right beside him there as well. 5 lights are up. It's once more. It is green, green, green for Heat 2 here of the JPB Clio Cup. Ridley has got a bit of a start. Carl Jacklett's getting away as well. John Bailiff is hanging on there, and Luke Maxwell's trying to come through in that 4th place. Absolutely incredible. John McCutchinson's gone for a run wide. He's trying to come back on the inside of Roger Morton. He's all out of shape. Got Carl Hardy, Edward, and Adam Dalmont battling away. Edward Parfitt was ahead of Pete Newman at one point. Now he's losing out to Mark Draper as he's trying to break away in the arms. He's got Ollie Ricks, Paul Godden in there. Look at the mix of cars all the way across the track. Absolutely incredible racing here on the opening lap of Heat 2, Zach.
Yeah, here we go. And, well, yeah, that is everything you need to say. That shot right there. We've got a couple of drivers, I think, going 3 wide. It might just be, yeah, Pete Newman trying to pick his way through some of the carnage as well. He's fighting with Adam Dalmont, of course. He's nipped his way on the inside. Also, you've got Mark Draper now making up the rear end of this Newman sandwich with some good old SRL bread. That's wide in the background, I think. That might be David Ayres having a bit of an off. Indeed, it is, or it might have been Ollie Ricks, either two. Ayres, there we go. And unfortunately, he was off. Still up 2 places from where he started, albeit not in the best of fashions.
No, absolutely not. Mark Draper hanging on to the base of the arms at the moment in 11th. David Ayres down in 12th here. Don't forget David carrying big shoes as the AM champion, now promoted into pros. So let's see what he's going to be able to do. Jason Morris and Andy Littler scrapping out once more. But there's a battle at the lead developing here with the Win It and Bin It team and Photomedia.uk of Carl Jacklett as they're scrapping out on that run around now. Sabina, the boxes off onto what will be the start-finish straight, coming at it once more. Can Jacklett hold on here, Zach? That's going to be the question. He's got 2 teammates working together. It doesn't even seem to matter to Carl. He's going for it here as well. Fastest lap of the race, 1:58.906. Carl Jacklett, take a bow, dear sir, as he leads this race for the Clios.
Carl Jacklett is he's rapid. He's an ever-improving driver. Will always find more pace and really does like to stick it to some of the big boys. And particularly when it comes to the reverse grid stuff as well, he will bring a good battle. That's exactly what he's doing now. Of course, the fight is not done. He's won the battle, but the war is far from over. He is, of course, leading the pack going into turn 4, side by side in the background as well. A couple of drivers trying to make some moves forward. There he's 3 wide, exactly that, as they run their way through. Maxwell, Morton, and McCutchinson as they rise up the hill towards turn number 6. Well, let's see how this goes.
Not
very well.
It went that well.
Fair dues. Fair dues.
Yeah, Roger Morton getting a tap from Pete Newman there. And Newman coming out better than Roger Morton did. He did manage to hang on to it, mind you. Edward Parfitt's being chased down by Jack Andrews, but has nearly opened up a second on Jack as well. The boy is on fire this evening. He's been putting his practice in as Edward, as Carl Jacklett and John Bailiff running side by side down into Pico de Pado as they're coming down into Mugello now. Going round Juncal. They're still side by side, leave each other room. Zach, that could have been a bit messy, but they did manage to survive that one. And now I think they're going to go side by side again.
Yeah, you can see there Carl Jacklett using the good old esports line. That grass that's on the right hand side, it's not really grass, doesn't really act like grass, and you can use all the grip in the world through it if you want. It just opens up the corner so much and has given Jacklett this amazing run that gave him that outside line. Of course, he's going to have to hold it. He's got Manat Veld, who's now getting himself involved on the outside, I should say. Bailiff now trying to go to the left. And then he's got Maxwell just for company behind. They are going to go full wide, at least momentarily, into turn number 1. Who's going to be the one that comes out on top? It's the outside. From Manavel, Bailiff tries to go for the move, and Jacklett gets swamped inside line there, I believe, from McCutcheon at least momentarily. And then everyone just tries to swarm their way through. Multiple cars going through wide at multiple points through that time. A little bit of squirrely contact through turn 3. And Roger Morton, I think well, gone. He's gone.
Yeah, it was. He come there as well. Edward was on the outside, though. Was he just on the outside? He was, and then unfortunately hooks into Morton, and then around Morton goes there, unfortunately for him, off the side of the circuit, but the pack still breaking away. Carl Ridley's opened up 1.4 seconds here, Zach. Absolutely stellar job from him. You can see the gap to the leader. We're literally breaking 4 seconds all the way down to 12th at the moment. And, well, that's pretty much down with Mini-Me, who's going with Jack Andrews, who is leading the AMs at the moment. The young gun, 16-year-old Jack, 18-year-old Edward, scrapping away. We've got side-by-side with Adam Dalmont and Pete Newman. We've got everything going on with Carl Jacklett and John Bailiff here, Zach. I'm not quite sure which way this is going to go, to be honest.
No, neither am I. It's going to go all the way down to the wire. I know that much for sure. Jacklett fighting away with Dalmont. Of course, you can see who's on the outside. Newman then tries to stick his nose to the outside, which would definitely be brave. He gets given a space by Jacklett, who is able to break a little bit later, going into that final proper corner there. You can see Draper fighting away with Hardy. It's absolute carnage absolutely everywhere in this fight, basically from second down, with Ridley able to, with the best idea possible, run away. As fun as this fight looks, if you want to score points, be as far away from this as possible. And that's exactly what Ridley's doing. He's commanding the field up in front.
Yeah, he is. You can see 2, 4, 6, 8, practically 9 cars are going to be involved in this one. Some great scrapping there. Carl Jacklett gets all out of shape. He's going to lose a couple of positions as well. There was contact with, that was Mark Draper and John McHutchinson. Was that due to the fact that Carl was out on the outside there and Mark's come across to try and avoid it? I've got a funny, oh no, McHutchinson just went in too deep. Mark Draper round, and unfortunately that was it then, done and dusted. Mark now down in 21st place, but they're still battling here as well. Edward Parfitt looks like he may have just had contact with Jack Andrews. The two AMs have gone side by side here as well. Edward's got up the inside. Jack's going to come across, isn't he? He's going to do something. Something's going to happen. Oh, Edward there just goes in a little bit too hot, gets it all a little... Oh, what was that?
Oh, there's more. That was your son doing a bit of a dodgy rejoin, and
boy,
it's true.
What? Even I'll say that was the slipper time, Zach. I think he needs for that one.
What? The slipper time? It's not Disney on Ice.
No, but not.
He's just done it again. Oh wait, no, that was a different one.
That's Dan Lewis.
There's more.
Oh dearie me. They're having it all here in the Clios at the moment. It's all gone off once more. John McHutchinson involved in this one. There was a lot of argy-bargy. John and also Jason Morris going side by side. Dan Lewis getting tapped there as well. Somebody tried to go free wide, and it all just went a little bit too Pete-tong. Ollie Ricks, John McHutchinson, Dan Lewis. Not a good look currently at the moment here in the JPB Clios. 13 minutes still remaining. We've got Pete Newman, Luke Maxwell, Eric Manifeld, Adam Dalmont, John Bailiff going at it as well. Bailiff trying to go round up the inside. He has managed to make it through. Luke Maxwell's holding off the three-time champion here. Well, this is not easy with Eric Manifeld going a little bit blinking, but let's see what's going on. He went 10 Clio bowling, says John Brown. He did definitely there as well. That was a little bit of
perfect 300 as well. Like, whatever car was in sight, he knocked them straight down. Yeah, in some statistics, then you have to respect the hustle. Like, of course, it's not great that cars have been taken out, but he didn't even mean to do that. And yet,
which one are we talking about?
He did it so well. Both, just all of it.
Yeah,
every single bit. There's a duck. Oh, there's Newman thinking about the move on the inside of Maxwell, who does in the end give him space and drifts himself out wide. And that is not a move that you want to allow Pete Newman to do, because he will just leave you with your trousers around your ankles, and especially Carl Hardy as well. They've done both legs, and Newman and Hardy find themselves through into 5th and 6th. Now, of course, they've got to pursuit forwards if they want any chance of catching Adam Dalmont, who now moves his way into 2nd.
Yeah, Dalmont's up into 2nd place. Some great action there. We've got 4 people in the pits at the moment. Edward Parfitt, John McHutchinson. I think we've lost Ollie Ricks and Jason Morris as well, and Satalantune, who don't believe started. So let's see what happens here as well. Mark Draper going out with Chris Dixon. Chris is back this season as well. He's going to go and try and improve as much as possible, said Chris. Hard runner, he likes to improve, he likes to get better. He knows he's not the fastest here, Zach, but I think for Chris it's all a learning curve. Every single race and every single lap he completes, Chris Dixon there does hold on and tries to learn as much as physically possible.
And for some people that is the aim. It's to build their portfolio of experience, to have a few races, get their races under their belts, because there's only so much that officials and hot laps can teach you. Like, officials, great way to build awareness, 100%. They're perfect for in that regard, knowing how to avoid incidents, stay out of trouble, get through the first couple of laps and things. But to have that sheer consistency over the course of a championship is only something you will get in exactly that, a championship. Kyle Hardy under a ton of pressure as Maxwell tries to put some pressure on him. Newman and Bailiff fighting over fourth as well. That's quite a close fight, nip and tuck in that particular battle. Of course, they are all in pursuit of that almighty second place that Adam Delmont has got in his hands at the moment. Too wide, too deep as they run their way towards turn number 6. It's Hardy that's got the inside, but no way through for now for Maxwell, who of course now we've got Carl Jacklett who's knocking on the door. There goes Pete Newman to the inside of Bailiff, and well, there we go. He might well have that one signed, sealed and delivered, albeit, to be fair, Bailiff's coming back up the inside.
Yeah, Bailiff's trying to come through here as well on that run up into Biga de Pato at the top right hand of the circuit. You can see there Hardy trying to make a dive up the inside of Bailiff. Is he going to get it done? They're going to come out of Bigo side by side, round through Mugello to go. It's now Bailiff on the inside. Hardy doesn't get the position done. Carl Jacklett does get Luke Maxwell here as well. I think for Maxwell this season is all about learning, all about what he can do there, as Edward Parfitt and John McCutcheon are going at it. Both of them have been off track here. Well, Edward's been off track. I wonder if that was on his own. It was on his own. That's a very wide line, dear sir. And unfortunately for Edward, he's now down 7th in class. He's got to try and get up into the top 15. That's a lot. That's a big ask, mind you, as he's going side by side with John McCutcheon. Well, this is going to be interesting how this one pans out. Oh, John squeezed in there as well, Zach, didn't he? Come over on him and gave him a big old squeeze on that one.
He did. Parfitt, it's difficult because obviously he has had such bad luck so far this race, and I wouldn't necessarily say bad luck. He just hasn't had a good race as such. And coming from the high of race 1 to the low of race 2, he's come crashing down. It's going to take a lot for him to recover, not only for this race, but of course going forward into race 3. If he wants any chances, Jacklett goes a little bit too deep into 4. That does allow Maxwell to pick his way back through for 7th place and finds his way up ahead in this train. Well noted, by the way, from John Brown, that we have got a fight for the lead once again. Is Adam Delmont trying to soar his way to the outside of Ridley? Yeah,
he is coming into SA there. Ridley's putting up the fight. He's going to have that inside line here as well. Does lift the car. Now Delmont's going up the inside of Pinarino. Does make it through, just about makes it through. They're still too wide, 3 deep further back as well, with Pete Newman and Eric Manifield going side by side, and once more Cole Hardy also was going at it with John Bailiff, but Newman has made it through. Now for Ridley, can he hang on to stay in front of Pete Newman? That's going to be a challenge and a half.
I think so. That is definitely, of course, with what we've got just about 7 minutes left to go, so yeah, I mean, it's not the longest amount of time in the world, but it's definitely not half a lap that I'm sure Ridley would prefer it to be. But let's see if Newman can reel it in. And of course, forget Carl Ridley. How's Adam Delmont going to handle the pressure as well between those two? And well, Delmont needs it. I mean, again, it is far too early to be talking about a championship with so many races yet to come. But technically speaking, they could essentially level it out in terms of results if Delmont and Newman finish 1 and 2. Side by side here, by the way. Carl Hardy trying to go to the outside of Manetveld for 4th, but can't pick his way through there. I have to say, I'm impressed with how Carl Hardy's bringing to this season. He started off fairly strong. Yeah, he's starting off fairly feisty as Hardy as well. He's not giving up. Luke Maxwell's trying to have a go at John Bailiff, with Carl Jacklett losing a little bit of time. It looks like Wayne Palmer has unfortunately had an incident now. I'm just hoping let's see if it was all on his own. He's going past the 999 of Andy Littler. He takes that position. He's going to come into turn 1 and
and just get it all a little bit wrong. Not get that car stopped, unfortunately, for Wayne Palmer here once more. But Ridley is not letting Dalmont get away. We've seen Carl Ridley drive before. I think back in season 1, I think, as well. So for Carl Ridley, it's nice to have him back on track as he's battling away here at Interlagos for the lead of the race with Adam Dalmont and also Carl Hardy hassling Manetveld. Where did... Oh, Newman is still there. Newman's closing down the guys in front of him as well, with Carl Jacklett scrapping out once more as we go into the final 5 minutes. It's going to be about another 2.5 laps, if not 3 laps to go here.
Yeah, it is slightly awkward timing with with the laps and such, so it could be quite close. And of course, with it being variable amounts of race times per race because of different circumstances as such, different amounts of battling, we could well see more laps in one, more laps in another. But in fairness, I don't think we will. I think we'll have the same that we did in race 1, and that would mean that we have only got a handful of laps left to go. Only 5 minutes left of this race, running just under 2 minutes a lap. So yeah, probably got 2 or 3 left to go at a stretch. Probably closer to 3, I'd reckon. Side by side here between multiple cars, you can just see between Manetveld and Hardy. He's going to be the 27 that stays ahead, and then you've got Bailiff versus Maxwell, and he's done exactly that. He's taken 6th place and stays in front for now. I have to say, cracking battles, and the new guys, they're not shy.
No, Charles Kellerman's just got done by Paul Godden there. He went round the outside of turn 1, dropping through the centre S's. Godden does manage to hang on. Kellerman tucked up right behind him here. What is Charles going to do? Is he going to be able to break his way through? Godden holds on to that inside line, literally hugging the white line as best he possibly can. Kellerman's got to go around the outside if he's going to make it work. It's not going to be done here for Charles Kellerman. Godden and Kellerman, both of them take a very wide line. Kellerman's going to have that run up in towards the Ferradura on the outside in the green and blue here as well. Godden's holding the inside line once more. He does manage to hold on to it. Can he keep it round the Ferradura as they're coming into SA? Paul Godden and Charles Kellerman, some great racing, even down the order there as well. This is the battle for 2nd and 3rd in class. Some great epic racing there as well. And Dan Lewis and Chris Dixon also scrapping it out further down. This is for 5th and 6th in class. So the AM's really going at it here as well, Zach. Some great racing all the way through as we see Adam Dalmont opening up about a 1 point of half a second gap at the moment.
Yeah. He's controlled it quite well. I think keeping Ridley in his sort of slipstream range has been a wise decision because he's still able to be sort of driving as fast as he can. Ridley keeping him honest. It's an extra defence for Ridley when Newman starts knocking. Of course, it's going to allow Ridley to keep that 2nd place and by extension build a barrier between Dalmont and Newman. Has been quite a big breakaway since Newman got away from Manetveld, and he's continued his fight with Hardy once again. It's another round going into turn number 1. The 2 teammates assume the inside line. It's Manetveld and Bailiff that make up the left-hand side of the circuit, and then of course it's Hardy and then Maxwell that finds his way on the outside. Then of course you've got Carl Jacklett now trying to pick his way into the mix, and he finds himself up in the 7th place ahead of Maxwell, who unfortunately hasn't been able to he's not been able to look backwards as effectively as his ambitions are forward. Yeah,
but I think it's tough, as we said, for Luke. He's literally only bought the car this evening. Well, he bought it today, I think. At one point this morning he bought it. So, great scrapping, and to see how he gets on. He's going to only improve, right? The more, it's like anything, the more you drive the car, the better in it you're going to get. And Luke is incredibly fast in the SR10. Jacklett there. That was meaty, should we say?
One way to put it. And the meet continues. Let's see, Carl Hardy.
Carl Jacklett.
Of course, with of course, Carl Jacklett fighting with. Sorry, there's too many cars. Well, there's 2, and
you can't get them right.
I can't know. One's a C and one's a K as well. There you go. Vote for me for the Simmies, ladies and gentlemen.
How many more times you're going to plug yourself during my broadcast?
What? That's the first time. It's the only time.
Second time, actually.
And also, your team were plugging me anyway. My name's on the front of your cars, albeit the front ends are not there anymore, but they were there.
Yeah, I know they did. And Dan Lewis thought it would be a nice gesture as they're going to come over and start the final lap here as well. the final lap of the race, and it is Adam Dalmont out in front. What's going to happen with Manaveld? You can see Hardy, look at that. He's leaving Manaveld no room on that inside line there, Zach. He literally hugged the wall and was like, no, no, no. Oh. He's not going to get that stopped. Oh, man. Going at it here as well. Eric Manaveld and Carl Hardy on the final lap of the race. And we've still got Jacqueline and Bailiff and Maxwell and Andrews here. Jack Andrews, young 16-year-old Carl Hardy stepson, leading the way in the AMS. A stellar run from him as well. Some great racing going on.
There is, and well, they've got one more lap left of race 2 in order to sort it out amongst themselves. Jack Andrews, I have to say, so mightily impressed. I mean, race 1, bit of a write-off in fairness, but the pace was there. He's come back stronger. He's come back with a wise head, learned from those mistakes, and that's what you've got to do. If you're here for experience, if you're here to learn, if you're here to win championships, each race has to be a learning curve. You have to be on a positive progression throughout the entirety of the seasons. Take those lessons, learn from them, and apply them into your next race. And sometimes that means for the next round. Jack Andrews took it literally. He meant the exact next race, and he's done it in such dominant fashion. We've got to fight all the way to the end. As you can see, Maxwell fighting away with Bailiff. Let's see if he's going to be able to go the long way round. It's a bit of a traffic jam on the inside as Manetfeld stays ahead. But Bailiff and Carl Jacqueline not leaving each other alone at all. With only one proper corner left to go, it's the run to the line.
Yeah, it is. They're coming into Shunkao. We're keeping an eye on the front two. Delmont, it looks like he's going to come over the line and take this. Oh, Maxwell's going to ask for the opportunity. Oh, Jacqueline is a big old defender. I can tell you that much. Delmont is going to take this victory. Who's going to come over the line here in front? Is it going to be Carl Ridley? Is it going to be Pete Newman? It is Ridley and then Newman some as well. Now this trainer, Carl's coming at it as well. Carl Jacqueline in front of John Bailiff with David Ayres, who's made a great recovery in race 2. Great racing there once more, and Jack Andrews comes over the line and takes that victory in the AMS. A stellar run from Jack there. Still some, you know, this never ceases to amaze me, is that because we still get great racing even over a longer circuit like Interlagos.
I wouldn't necessarily say the length of the circuit is sort of necessary to, or sort of proportional to the quality of racing. I mean, we have great racing at shorter tracks like Alton Park or whatever. We've had great racing at longer Grand Prix circuits, you know, like Interlagos. I don't think there is necessarily a correlation between circuit length and racing. I think the correlation is more in terms of the circuit quality as such, because you can have a short track where every corner is taken flat out. You're not going to really have great racing there. You can have a short circuit where every corner is taken at the slowest speed possible and is 5 meters wide. You're not really going to have great racing there. But then you can have a 20-kilometer circuit where each and every single corner is an overtaken opportunity. You can have great racing there. So Grand Prix circuit, club circuit, either work. It's more the corners at said circuit that sort of apply to this racing, because, yeah, you know, it's been proven. And again, not only is it the circuit, it's the car, and it is the drivers. You can give the greatest track car combination to the worst set of drivers, and you wouldn't really get a great race. But you can give a mediocre track car combination to the best drivers, and you'd still have a banger.
Yeah, absolutely. I do fully agree here as well. Here are the results for race 2. Adam Dalmont is your winner with Carl Ridley in second and Pete Newman in third. John Brown, Dalmont for the championship lead. Could this be his season? Well, we will find out and see what happens with Dalmont. With Carl Hardy fourth, Eric Manaveld fifth, Carl Jacqueline sixth, John Bailiff in seventh, David Ayres eighth, and Luke Maxwell down in ninth. Then you've got Jack Andrews, Paul Goddard and Charles Kellerman are your 1, 2, 3 in your AMS, with Mark Draper in 13th, Andy Littler, Dan Lewis, Chris Dixon, Roger Morton and John McCutcheon beyond that. Then you've got Edward Parfitt, Wayne Palmer, Ollie Ricks, Jason Morris and Sir Alan Toon there as well. So that is at the end of race 2. We've got one more coming up. We are into a 5-minute warm-up here. Zach is developing. Could be an interesting season, I think, with all of this going off.
Yeah, I hope so. I think there is more of it. John Brown, could this be his season? Slow down. Adam Dalmont, I love you. All right. We're 2 races in. There's not really much that we can read into
No.
So right now, right, we have to take everything at face value. We cannot be thinking of championship leads and things like that. Like, sure, don't get me wrong. Every point counts in the grand scheme of things, right? There is a long season ahead, and when we get to rounds 8, 9, 10, and we look back and think, yeah, I could have got 5 more points at Interlagos. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. These rounds still matter. These points still do matter. But right now, in terms of the championship, it's a novelty. It's a luxury. It's a nice thing to have. If you lead the championship now, are you going to win? Maybe. You can't know that, though. It doesn't. There's still so long left to go. Leading the championship now doesn't mean diddly squat in the grand scheme of the whole entire championship with so many more races left to go. I mean, we've still got, 28 races left to go of this season. 28 times 20, what's that going to be? 560 minutes left of racing, which is 9 hours. Like, yeah, there's too long left of the season to really read into it so much. But
you got to have faith, says John Brown, as George Michael says.
It's true. That's true. We're sort of piecing a picture together. We're starting the puzzle. We're about 5 pieces into this 1,000-piece puzzle as such. And we're seeing who the stars are. We're seeing who might be in contention. But I don't really think we're going to see a true rivalry develop until sort of rounds 2, 3, and 4. It might well be Pete Newman and Adam Dalmont. It might not be. Right now, seems to be the case. Yeah,
absolutely. The schedule is on track. On your screen now. As you say, Interlagos this week, then Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, which I think is going to be an absolutely epic race. Then we've got a break until we come back after Christmas for the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya National Circuit. Hockenheim National in round 4. Then you've got some of the great short circuit of Lime Rock. Motorland Oregon is a long outer loop circuit as well, so no hairpin at the end with the Nürburgring Sprint Strecker circuit in round 7. And round 8 we go to Okayama, and then round 9 at Summit Point, and then round 10 Tsukuba. That is going to be an absolute banger at Tsukuba.
I mean, I think a lot of people see it as a meme track. To that I say fair play. Kind of is. But give it its dues. Like, give it some credit. It's a fun track to drive, for one. It's challenging in its sort of its own respect. And it's Clio's. It is a Clio circuit. As I say, I was first introduced to Tsukuba on GT Sport a few years ago, and it was in go-karts. It was in the GT Sport shifter go-karts, and I had an absolute nightmare of a time in trying to control that thing. But I had so much fun around Tsukuba because it's just one of those circuits you can take drift cars there. I think it is sort of a place on the Formula Drift calendar or something, or has hosted drift rounds. Of course, as I say, sort of go-karts and superkarts and those style of driving. And Clios, I think, are probably, what that track could well be designed for. They're small, they're narrow, they're not exactly going to be getting up to ridiculous speeds, and front-wheel drive around a tight and twisty circuit. Yeah, it should be good. Having it as a championship finale is probably a different story, but we're here for a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Ivy in chat, who is my Sutton Edwards partner. That was a good pronunciation of Sprint Strecker, James. Thank you very much. She's German. She should be able to know and tell me all about that, to be honest. I'm sure he probably would. Mr. Pronunciation there as well. Here is the grid for race 3. Dan Lewis is on pole with Andy Littler, Mark Draper and Charles Kellerman. Don't forget top 15 reverse. Paul Godden, Jack Andrews, Luke Maxwell, David Ayres, and then John Bailey and Carl Jacklett round out the top 10. Eric Maneveld, Carl Hardy, Pete Newman, Carl Ridley, Adam Dalmont are your top 15 with Chris Dixon, Roger Morton, John McHutchinson in 18th. There you got Edward, Wayne Palmer, Ollie Ricks, Jason Morris, and I'm not sure if Sir Alan Toon is going to make it. But yeah, some great racing coming up. Don't go anywhere for the final race of the season. Let's see what happens here once more as we're going to be getting up and running and underway. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are green. Some great racing taking place with Dan Lewis. Andy Littler's trying to bolt from the front there. Mark Draper making his way into third. Then you've got the arms of Andrews and Kellerman behind there with Luke Maxwell in the mix. Once more going 3 wide. Dan Lewis has taken track lengths to a completely different way and just sits there and waits as everybody goes through there. He's going to be absolutely kicking himself as Dan, as the front three of Andy Littler, then Mark Draper and Paul Godden try and break away here. Zach, Dan Lewis, very tough, but he did the right thing in sitting there, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, that is something I would not want to be involved in. 4 wide, turn 3, turn 2, turn off the circuit for many as well. That's lap 1 at Interlagos for you. They are flying in a very weird formation. They've got 2 at the front, 2 at the back, 3 in the middle as they fight their way in towards turn 6 and 7, side by side, a little bit further up. A couple of moves being chucked to the inside. Carl Hardy fighting with Carl Jacklett. There we go. I can say either way around, and I probably won't be able to get it wrong. There goes Pete Newman as well to the right-hand side. There's more fighting at the front in the fight for second. And, of course, that Amley 3 wide, multiple rows deep, and there's contact. Carl Jacklett sends it in way too deep. But, in fairness, I think Kellerman's been able to keep it under wraps and keep it pointing the right way.
Yeah, at the moment, you can see fighting further in front with Paul Godden, Luke Maxwell, John Bailiff having a scrap with Eric Manifeld, and also David Ayres in this. You can see 3 wide further back as well. And this is all going off. There's still 3 wide behind this run. That is Jack Andrews, I believe, in the middle. Or is it Kellerman? It might actually be Kellerman there as Morton says, thank you very much. I'm having some of that. Now Kellerman's trying to come back up the inside of Carl Ridley, who's not made a great start, but is absolutely involved in the mix. This is going to go off here, Zach. We're just wondering where.
It's a short fuse. Let's see when the spark comes, because there's plenty of friction and plenty of tension. The pressure is rising. All it takes is one small drop of a match, and I'm sure we're going to have absolute fireworks happening here in Interlagos. There you can see a couple of hesitant moves. I think that was Carl Ridley maybe just thinking about a move, finding his way past. Of course, there you can see a little bit off the circuit, loses the place. Unfortunately, that allows Kellerman to pick his way up into 14th. Carl Ridley now trying to pick his way through past McCutchinson. Of course, this fight, with it being the last race, it's do or die. You've got to make these moves. You've got to get those points. There's no reverse grids to worry about, so send it.
Oh, David Ayres opening up the door there on Pete Newman. He did manage to get it through. Now they're going to go 3 wide again. This is all going to concede this going completely wrong here as well. Can they hold it? Newman's got the inside. Manivel's got the outside. Up front, Jack Andrews, Luke Maxwell battling away. Paul Godden there as well. Mark Draper's taken a bolt and done a runner as much as he possibly can, opening up that 1 second gap. But we've got 5 seconds between first and 13th. Now Hardy's just been bullied out a little bit by Eric Maniveld and Adam Delmont, and now he's going to try and go back up the inside here. He does. Absolutely incredible racing going on. Delmont holding that inside line round through Magello. They go coming down into Juncao, the left-hander. But Delmont, he's going to try and get out on the cobbles. There you go. He does manage to get out on the cobblestones and makes his way up through Juncao once more. Paul Godden still trying to hold on to Mark Draper. Draper about a second out. Then we've got the second battle. John McHutchison, Ollie Ricks, Charles Kellerman, Carl Ridley, Wayne Palmer, Mini-Me's in there fighting it out as well. Chris Dixon, Jason Morris is going off still all the way through the field here, Zach, and literally 2 banks of racing, 2 banks of battles going on once more.
And, well, it's going to continue for the foreseeable future, presumably for the rest of the race. These fights just full of respect and nothing really else apart from that. I mean, of course, we've had a couple of issues and a couple of people not really kicking the season off to the best of starts. But all in all, it's been a really successful season opener. And, yeah, just bring on the rest of the season, I think, is going to be the general consensus. People are going to be looking forward for more and more of this. The new guys, welcome. This is the JPB Clio Cup. For the returning guys, well, you know what you're getting yourselves into. And, yeah, we've still got 15 minutes left of Interlagos to enjoy, and it's a shame really, because Interlagos is a great circuit, a great venue to kickstart the season opener, but I just hope we don't peak too early.
Never in a month for Sundays, mate. We never peak too early. Racing always develops all the way through. You know, we've had 4 different winners over the 2 classes already. Possibly we're going to get another one with Mark Draper and Paul Godden, who are leading the pros and the AMs at the moment, with Andy Littler doing a great job of holding up Luke Maxwell. And Maxwell just cannot get through. He's trying his hardest, and he just cannot get through here. I think he's got to remember, for Luke, he's not in an SR10. He's not in a car made of cardboard here as well. He can send it up, and it can take some argy-bargy. So I think for Luke, it's all a bit of a learning curve at the moment. He's just got to remember he can get his elbows out. You know what I mean? He can bump doors if he needs to as well. They are, you know, durable are the Clios. So for Luke Maxwell, they're making his way up into third place, second in class at the moment, doing an absolutely great job. Gary Walsh, good evening to you, sir. No worries about not being able to make this season, mate. With IRL, it always comes first. But as you say, work commitments fighting out. Pete Newman going side by side with John Bailiff once more. Manifold still holding on with Littler, trying to go up the inside as well. Littler's doing a great job of holding on to Delmont. Delmont's now gone through. They're 2 wide further back as well. That's Carl Ridley and I believe Ollie Rick scrapping it out with Charles Kellerman, Wayne Palmer and Edward still fighting it out there. Edward's gone from the highs of winning to the lows of race 2 to the lows of trying to come back through the field for race 3. He's sitting 7th in class at the moment, got to battle his way back, and Dan Lewis, his teammate, is behind him there as well as Edward and Wayne Palmer.
Oh, in a bit. That's a facepalm moment.
Yeah, but I'm always worried here because Palmer's already... Oh, they got stuck together as well.
You got Zach Sweeney.
Yeah, but yeah, there was net code on the front. If you saw the hookup just beforehand, they did have a big old dose of net code there as well. So for Edward, he's got to remember not to be sticking your nose in that position. But then again, the other guy coming over, Zach, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it is just racecraft and awareness. Thinking better of it, and of course, just giving that extra car's length or car's width on going into a corner again. You know, there are 3 ways that things can go. Is, you know, you avoid an incident, you're in an incident and it's your fault, you're in an incident and it's not your fault. Of those 3, in terms of the priority in the hierarchy, I'd rather just not be in an incident at all. I don't care if it's my fault or not. I was still in the incident, I've still lost points for it. I'd rather just avoid the incident full stop, stay out of trouble, keep my nose clean, and just give that extra car's length.
The problem is, though, you know, he didn't really have to on the outside. You know, Wayne Palmer's got to give him room, right? But Edward there, he didn't really have to give him room on the outside. There's nowhere else he can really go there either. So for Palmer, are we looking more on Palmer on that one for not leaving the car's width there as well? As we're just about to go 3 wide, I believe that is Bailiff in the middle, Hardy and Delmont. They are going 3 wide here as well. Down. Oh, dearie me, into turn 4. How is this one going to work? Is it all going to get done cleanly? Delmont takes the position. He then locks the brakes up. Carl Jacquelet's trying to come and have a bit as well with Roger Morton in there, and they're going 3 wide again with Jacquelet. Morton's got the inside line there. Poor old Bailiff, he's just getting bullied out every time. He's losing lunch boxes, shoelaces, and everything is John Bailiff. They're even going to rob his pocket money off him as he's just lost nearly 3 places if Morton can make it through. Delmont's late on. No! Can he hold on? He can. Delmont there with a big old drift. Manages to hold on. McHutchinson's now gone through. Andy Littler's now gone through. Delmont's still in the fight here, but they're going 3 wide again round the Pico de Pato. Now coming down into Shunkao here, Zach. The racing's getting very feisty in this pack.
Yeah, these guys don't know how really to settle down or work together. That just goes straight out the window. Oh, goodness me, there's more of it. People going for a little bit of a sideways moment going through Shunkao, and wow, that is just, well, benefit, of course, to Carl Jacquelet, who now picks his way up into the top 10. But, I mean, there's just been too many 3 wide moments. If we just settled ourselves into 2 wide, fine. These guys... two's not enough. They need to go for 3.
Yeah, at one point we had 4 coming up into that last one as well, into race 2. So Maxwell still managing to hold on from Newman. Gets that all a little bit wrong, gets it a little bit deep, does Luke. As Goddard is trying to stay in there as well. He's leading the AMs, of course. You can see up front, Draper's breaking away. Maxwell's now running. Oh, there goes Pete Newman. He was running side by side with Newman. Newman's now taking that position away. Goddard now is coming up to the back here once more. John McHutchinson's off the side of the circuit. What have you been up to, dear sir? Was this car Jacqueline again? They hooked together. That I'm trying to find words for that one with the iRacing doing the iRacing thing there. I think that's where we're going to go. I think that the use of the word is continually getting overused, as Andy Littler has just gone and ceremoniously ended up in the barrier there as well, unfortunately for Andy Littler, on the run up here. That's what happened with Littler. Oh, that's never going to work, unfortunately, there as well. Zach, it's a little bit scrappy in race 3, but Manifeld is still holding on with Carl Hardy. Hardy's just about to got the inside of Juncal, makes a bit of contact, and Manifeld does lose that position in the end. Getting a little bit scrappy here, but then again, I suppose in the hindsight, it is the first race of the season, and we generally have this with new drivers and old drivers.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, again, we've got different people from everywhere. You know, some people, you know, like Maxwell, who've not really had much experience in this car at all, and with that will come mistakes. And you know, this isn't ESL R1. This isn't the top level of esports.
Steady.
JPB Clio Cup.
Steady. Right, we got nearly like 6K drivers in here with Pete.
Yeah, I get that, and that's above average.
Right.
Which, yeah, it's above average. It's not exactly the top level. It's still a very ground community-based thing, right? If you want this to be the top level esports, James, stop being stingy. Give them a 10 grand prize pool. Then we can start talking.
Well,
but for now, it's a nice community. It's a learning curve for these people. You've got your son, you've got people like Jack Andrews who are here finding their feet in sim racing, learning, and then obviously you've still got titans like Pete Newman, Adam Dalmont, and such who are fighting at the top. But all in all, it's just for a bunch of guys that want to have some fun on a Monday night.
Oh, I take great offence to it being classified as that. I have to be honest.
What, a community-based championship with a great atmosphere and great respect.
Okay, now you put the great.
You've seen some of the seen some of the driving. No, have you seen some of the driving standard at the top level? All right, I didn't necessarily say it was a bad thing.
Yeah, I watched one the other day and it all went a little bit Pete Tong for everyone. So, you know, they all have their incidents. I'm not going to lie. You know, everybody has their incidents. And these guys do well for what they're doing. They're driving little Clios, you know what I mean? These are little puffs, aren't they? You know, we call them hairdresser car and you know, 4 wheels with roller skates. This is what we've got. This is the door banging. This is the racing that we have here. You don't need all the other fancy guff to go with it. And if anybody does want to sponsor the race, you can. And if you want to give me a 10 grand prize pool, I'm sure I'll try more. But at the moment, with these guys, it's Delmont trying to get away from Carl Jacklett with Carl Ridley and Jack Andrews, Charles Kellerman and David Ayres. So there we go, Mr. Sweeney.
Yeah, they're fighting away. And,
yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, fair, yeah. As long as I can still send my invoice.
No,
anyway,
sorry.
So, no, I've just been blocked. He's just going to send it right back at me.
Yep.
He's just going to scribble out. He's going to scribble out the zeros. All the zeros.
No. That's it.
Didn't get paid for that.
Nope.
Can't get paid for that.
That's a free one because you got a bit trappy on the broadcast. So,
oh, what?
There we go.
There you go.
Done.
Freedom of speech, ladies and gentlemen. James Parfitt is not a believer. That is why you should vote for me for the semis and not James.
Oh, give over, you palaver. Listen to you going at it again.
See? Gary Walsh agrees with me.
Gary Walsh said you have to agree with that. Oh, Gary, get out. There's a lot of people on track still learning the trade. There is, but it's still great racing with all of these guys once more. And you can see some of the action taking place here as well. Charles Kellerman, Jack Andrews, David Ayres scrapping away. Then we've got Dan Lewis and Wayne Palmer. They're having a battle with Chris Dixon here as well. Was there on their way now coming down into Pinerino, the left-hander here as well. So great job from all of these drivers battling it out once more. 5 minutes remaining, about 2.5 laps here again, and then Charles Kellerman still got Jack Andrews in front, and he's still got David Ayres behind. So some great battling here. And I've got to give a shout out to this man up here, the AM leader Paul Godden, sitting 4th overall. Absolutely stellar racing from him.
Oh, he's driven phenomenally. I mean, again, and there are so many people that have just sort of gone, sort of just under the radar with so many big names. Of course, Paul Godden has just cruised his way to victory, fairly convincingly as well. He's not exactly been challenged in race 3. He's just been quiet up there in 4th, got on his head down, done the right job. His pace has been fairly decent. A 51.8 is his best lap time. That's matching. Hang on, what's Jack Andrews doing? 50. Well, I mean, Jack Andrews, he's 8 times quicker than Jack Andrews in terms of lap time, which, well, says all you need to know, really. Paul Godden is absolutely flying out in front.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's got Carl Hardy coming up behind him. Hopefully for Paul, we'll give him a bit of a go. Adam Dalmont, Carl Jacklett as well, battling it out once more. Jacklett does make it through past Dalmont there, as these guys are continually to scrap with Ridley, Andrews behind that, Kellerman. Edwards got about 4.5 seconds. He's got Ollie Ricks for company as he's off on that run up through the Ferradura once more. So Edward holding on to 4th in class at the moment, up 4 places. So a stellar recovery there. And then we've got Dan Lewis, Wayne Palmer and Chris Dixon, who haven't left each other alone for the majority of the race here. Still going at it further down. So some great action taking place all the way through the field. And Paul Godden now is basically under attack from Carl Hardy. He's going to allow Hardy to take that inside line. What about Roger Morton and Eric Manifield? Well, I can tell you now, no love lost here as they're in the same class, Mr. Sweeney.
Yeah, which means points are on offer, which means chuck it up the inside, which means go for moves, which means end race 3 with a bang. Hopefully not literally, because we don't want to see that. Of course, we've seen plenty of that over the course of this evening, and hopefully we can keep it nice and clean for the remainder of it. But of course, Godden, he's of course they're in 5th, a little bit further up there. You can see he's all over the rear end of Carl Hardy. Fair play to him, but he's not really got anything to gain as such, only everything to lose. So if I was him, I would be allowing all of these guys through. As there you can see side by side between Manifeld and Morton, they're fighting over 6th, especially when the two behind are fighting so hard. If I was Paul Godden, I'd be like, nah, nope. If you're in 5th and the next nearest AM is in 12th place overall, let him through. Why risk it? So easy for all that to go wrong. Just let him through, take the win. Jobs are good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jobs are Godden. Boom.
Boom. Who needs a fantastic Zach Sweeney here in the booth? So well done there as well. Zach, good job. Adam Dalmont, Carl Jacklett still fighting.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, who you think? I suppose you're not on a farm grabbing hold of a cow, to be honest. You're milking it that much. There's Carl Ridley here trying to go round the outside of Carl Jacklett into the Ferradura. There you go, coming up into SA. Jacklett in that infamous red and black of the Photo Media UK car, and then Carl Ridley in the Win It or Bin It Racing. Ridley now under attack from Jack Andrews. David Ayres getting in the mix, trying to go up the inside of Andrews here as well. Ayres is the pro, and Jack Andrews is the AMS, and they have been battling last season, of course, in the AMS, where David Ayres did take the victory this time. So David Ayres automatically promoted to pros with Roger Morton. So they're going to be coming round. I believe this could be the last lap. It is the final lap of the race, and we're going to have another 2 different winners is hoping as well. Mark Draper is going to come over the line here as well for the final lap. Paul Godden's going to come over the line in the AMS as well. So are we going to make it for, well, 6 different winners in 3 races?
Bring that on for the rest of the season. Of course, there's only so many drivers that can win races, but if we can have 3 different winners over the course of the 3 races for each night, then no complaints from me. Showcases a great championship, but highlights the importance of Pete Newman's consistency He's not been outside the top 2 once this evening, and he is there. Still, to be fair, under pressure from Luke Maxwell, who... What a way to start your campaign in the Clios, mate, is to bring it to a champion, a multiple-time champion of Pete Newman, and actually try and mug him around the outside as well of turn number 4. Luke Maxwell is bringing the fire, showcasing his talent, that transfer, of course, from discipline to discipline. It's not faded at all in the respect to his racecraft. His driving is impeccable. He's back up the inside of Pete Newman going into turn 6, but of course the reigning champion is going to give him that fight the long way round. Then into the next braking zone, the momentum swings the way of Newman, who's got the grip, who's got the momentum, and might well have second place sealed. But goodness me, Luke Maxwell
Found some pace. Found some pace. Fair play, Luke. There as well. As we said, he is a quick driver, and he's found some pace now, I believe. He's given Maxwell, he's given Newman a good old run for his money, and Newman does manage to sweep round the outside here once more. So let's see how it's going to come over the line. I think Mark Draper is on his way up the hill. It is going to be Draper who's going to take the victory. Newman looks like he might get second unless Maxwell has a different idea. But Mark Draper is going to come over the line. He is going to take the win in race 3 for the pros. He's going to come and take the victory there as well. 3 different winners, 3 different classes so far. Maxwell and Newman coming down to the line. It is going to be Newman, I believe. It is with Maxwell. It's Newman, then Maxwell. Now Paul Goddard comes over the line as well, with Jack Andrews finishing in second place there. So a great job from Jack, as he's got Carl Jacklett pressurising him behind, and Kellerman rounding out his second podium of the evening. So some great racing going on, and Maxwell taking his first podium of the season in only the first round.
And he fought Pete Newman to maybe make it second. And if there's one thing that Maxwell can take, as of course the driver's lining up for a nice photo opportunity to celebrate Craig Jones, of course, who we of course wish a full steady recovery there. You can see all the cars lining up very, very nicely indeed. But yeah, if there's one thing for Luke Maxwell to take out this evening, it's the fact that he just fought and fared well with Pete Newman.
He definitely did. There as well, as the guys are lining up. Much love to all of these guys who are they're lining up, obviously, for our very own Craig Jones, who unfortunately this morning had a cardiac arrest and is in hospital there as well. So much love to all of these guys for doing this. This is absolutely amazing. As we know, hashtag keep fighting Craig in YouTube chat as they all line up there as well. Awesome shot of all the cars. So yeah, much love to them for doing that. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, amazing. Zach, talk please.
Yeah, I'll do my job and talk, because that's what I'm here to do. Flash the headlights though, of course, because there's nothing more than Craig Jones likes more than to... I won't finish that sentence. And of course, with them all being lined up, it's nice. It's sportsmanship, and yeah. And again, goes back to what I was saying about how this is such a community grassroots championship with these guys. Everyone is here for a good reason. Everyone's got a heart. Everyone looks out for each other. Everyone wants each other to succeed, and even in the hard times as well, everyone bands together and shows their support in one of the best ways possible. And this is amazing to see. It's one of those things in racing, in sim racing, in sports and such, that really does warm your heart. And of course, Craig Jones, as we say, we wish him the best. We wish his family, the most support that they can. They're going to fly in formation, of course, here, take us for one final tour of Interlagos. But wish them all the best. Wish him, of course, all the best. Hope that he makes a full steady recovery and we can have him back to his quips and his wits and his very fun ways of Craig Jones. Can't wait to be hating on each other more in the future. And yeah, have him back so we can win more trophies.
Yeah. Him and his trophies. 4-time trophy winner, as we know, in the Clios and other round MX-5 as well. So yeah, much love for all the drivers taking part here this evening as well. So get well, Craig, and we'll hopefully see you back on track shortly there as well. And much love to obviously his wife Gemma, two lovely boys, Elliot and Kyan, who both do and have done the BDLV.
Which is the one that's going to be taking our job?
Kyan.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's better than me.
Yeah, Kyan Jones will be a star of commentary future here as well, as they all.
Master of Brands Hatch.
Yeah, he's he did there as well. So an absolutely amazing gesture from all of these guys who are here and have taken part in, well, almost like a Clio flyby really as well. So much love to all of them, and hopefully get well soon, Craig, and we'll see you. Oh no, that's not ideal. See you back on track shortly. So yeah, amazing from all of these. We'll just watch these come round and finish off the evening, and well, just keep Craig in your prayers and your dream, your love of your heart, guys, as well, because as I say, it is tough, and hopefully he'll come out tomorrow the other side, and be back to Craig, who we all love and love hate pretty much in the same feeling there, Zach, don't we really?
Yeah, well, depending on the day, the scale tips more one way than another, but for the most part.
You two are your love-hate bickering ship, and me who deals with him on a daily basis. So they all are as well. Great action and that from them all. So much love to all of these drivers, Craig. You know, get well soon, bud. Let's get you back on racing. Let's get you back on track, and just keep fighting. Keep fighting. So. Right. Suppose we catch up on the results from the final race of the evening. Mark Draper is in first, with Pete Newman in second, Luke Maxwell finishing off third there as well. Carl Hardy, Paul Godden taking the win in the AMS. Then Eric Maniveld, Roger Morton, John Bailiff, and now they're all just going to go and pile up. So let's have a look at what's going on. Well, lots of everything. So fair play to all of them who has just gone and had, well, that basically. So there we go. Right. Paul Godden, Eric Maniveld in 6th, Roger Morton 7th, and then John Bailiff in 8th. Adam Delmont 9th for Carl Ridley. Jack Andrews takes 2nd in the AMS there with Carl Jacklet, Charles Kellerman and Edward Parfitt. David Ayres, Ollie Ricks, Wayne Palmer and Dan Lewis finishing that one with Chris Dixon, Jason Morris, John McCutcheon, Andy Littler and Sir Alan Toon, who unfortunately did look like he had a bit of a disconnect, as we could see. Well, bits of Clio's going everywhere, I think, Zach. That would probably be the nicest way of putting it, I think. Because we've got smoke as well coming out to 67 of Charles Kellerman. But let's bring Paul Godden in for a chat here as well. Paul, welcome in, sir. Got a great racing tonight as always. We can see everybody leaving parts of their Clios in turn 1 at the moment as well. So, but yeah, some great racing this evening.
Yeah, evening guys. Yeah, no, it was a really enjoyable evening in the end, and the main goal for tonight was just to try and keep clean and score some points to carry on throughout the championship, because last season I messed up at the beginning of the championship, so I was determined not to make the same mistakes as I did. So I think overall my plan worked, and I got some good points which I can take forward.
Definitely you did there as well, and a victory in the AMS in race 3 to top it all off.
Yeah, no, that's what I was really hoping for. And then when I saw that the nearest AM was about 4 or 5 cars behind me, I was like, well, just keep it nice and clean, let them through where I can, because I'm not in a battle with them, but not be silly and let them all through, because then you end up back with the AMs again. So and it's a very hard race to overtake as well. So you've got to be a little bit later on the brakes to nip up the inside of them, or try and get a run. But even with a run, you just run out of speed up the hills and stuff. So, but no, it was really good. Everyone seemed to drive really well and clean, which was nice. And there's a couple of little incidents which you're going to get in these Clios when you're racing that hard on with such a great caliber of drivers. Yeah, it was a really good evening.
And a good start to the season for you. 3 podiums out of 3 this evening.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, it was when I saw that I was third. I was like, both races, I was like, I'll see if I can get the second place, and I think I managed to do it on both of them with a couple of laps to go. But the guy who was in first place on the first 2 races was just a little bit far ahead every time to catch them. But it was it was great. I couldn't ask for anything better really, unless I got 3 wins. But no, I'm over the moon with what I've got, really.
Yeah, and a great start to the season. We've got 6 different winners across all classes in the first 3 races.
Are we really? Great.
Yep. We've got Newman, obviously Edward winning race 1, Dalmont Andrews race 2, Draper and yourself in race 3. So there you go. Anyone, Paul, you basically want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to all the drivers as making it such a great league to be part of, and tonight they all had the respect as well at the end for our friend Craig, who's obviously in hospital at the moment, and hopefully he will recover and get better soon. Because it was quite hard for some people to race like some of his teammates that have raced with him for a long time, and hopefully that we've all done him proud, and we can move on to the next race with our heads held high, and be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul, thank you so much for joining us there, bud. Pleasure to talk to you as always.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I moved myself up here. Hold on, wrong one. Let's go that one. Now let's bring Carl Hardy into the booth. Carl, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you? Apart from obviously the very sad news we had this morning.
I'm emotional. Let's just put it that way. But look, it would wanted of us to race, so we did. We put on the broadcast as well. Tough for everyone as well, but a great start to the season, I think, with the drivers that we've got on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was one hell of a show. Brilliant. I loved it tonight. It was really, really good. And I didn't crash that much either, I don't think.
No, there was a couple of sideways moments,
which
buddy.
is a shock. Yeah, but it's fine. That's all right. We can handle that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was all right. It's good.
Yeah, definitely. And as I just said to Paul, we've got 6 different winners across all 3 races and all 2 classes.
Well, you know what? That just says what the this league's all about and what we've got together here. To have that's immense, isn't it?
Yeah, I fully agree. I think it's been absolutely amazing racing here tonight. Tough for everyone, obviously, as we all know. But you, Carl, going forward, where do you see your aspirations in general for this season?
Do you know what, James? I don't actually take it that serious. All I want to do is just have a race. So if I'm last and racing somebody, I don't really care. So, but obviously everyone wants to do well. So yeah, I got a 3rd and 2 4ths tonight. So if I can hold that all season, I'll be well happy.
Absolutely. As well, Carl. Anyone you want to give a shout out to this evening?
Craig Jones, 100%. The guy's an absolute legend to the team. We got caught out by. I nearly got emotional then. We all got caught out by your message this morning. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, just massive. Get well to Craig Jones.
Absolutely.
I've got to stop talking.
Absolutely. Well, Carl, much love for joining me. And we'll look seeing how the rest of the season goes.
Yeah. Cheers for everything today, and that was much appreciated. Cheers, mate.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right.
Did you?
Next up in the booth is Charles Kellerman. Not Charles Kellerman, Carl Jacklett, sorry, here as well, who's been fighting away up in the pro class. Carl, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. A bit down, of course. I only found out just before qualifying. Yeah, but no, I've had some good races. These big, fast-flowing tracks make for really, really, really close racing. Much better than the smaller tracks where we all get a bit spread out. But on these big tracks, it's tight. Very exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is as well. It's been a great evening of racing, different winners in all races. It's going, the season's looking good for everybody here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a classic, I think. It really is. We've got a great lineup of tracks. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And going forward for you, mixing it up in the pros as always, doing awesome job as normal.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to keep out of trouble. Not always to plan, but I finished all the races. It's what a 9th, a 6th, and a 12th. So yeah, that's quite satisfactory for first round.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Carl, for joining me. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, to our wonderful NHS and All Thoughts with Craig.
Awesome stuff, Carl. Thank you so much for joining us there, bud. And we'll look at catching up soon.
Yeah, pleasure as always.
Next up, let's have a chat with Roger Morton here as well. Mr. Morton, good evening to you. How are you, sir?
I've been better, mate. It's sad times, isn't it? I just wanted to come on and wish Craig the best of luck in his recovery, and hopefully everything goes all right. Thoughts are with his family, kids, and everything else. It's So I've drove me out trying to take my first pole, or tried to take my first pole, and that was for Craig, but I didn't spoil that. But it's definitely been in our thoughts all night. But plenty have been said.
Yeah.
Racing wise, first race, mega. It was a good race. Second race, we got in a bit of an incident, but didn't give up. Just took it back to the pitch, repaired, back out, got me points. And that last race was a good race, trying to battle my way back through.
Yeah, it was. It was very interesting racing, and obviously, the lineup at the end of all the cars sitting on the straight there was a great gesture overall for Craig and everyone, and hopefully when he gets better and we can show him this, and I'm sure he'll love the gesture.
That crash fest at the end is all Craig, is that?
Yeah, but
he's one of the ones that does it, first ones to anybody off. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love that, because we did catch it all as well. Cars going everywhere was quite exciting there as well. But Rog, thank you so much for joining me, which I think I'm going to admit has been an emotional evening for all of us. And I'll catch up.
Well done for doing it, mate. I know it can't have been easy. I don't want easy. Obviously in the moment of your racing, but in between the races, there was all talks about him and that all night. So again, thoughts with his family.
Yeah.
And hopefully he pulls through and everything's all right. But Yeah,
I agree. So take care, bud. and I'll catch up with you
mate.
soon.
Bye-bye.
I think for the final interview, I think Jack is joining us. Mr. Jack Andrews, your winner in race 2 as well. Jack, welcome into the booth, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Interesting evening of racing for you there, bud. Not bad at all. Two podiums out of 3. Good start to the season.
Good start. Could have been a little better. I think I could have got at least another second place. I was just very unlucky.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be some interesting racing between you guys this season, isn't it, down in the AMs?
Yeah, very interesting. A lot of people are very close together now, so it should be a lot of fun. I think both titles be really close to each other.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Jack, as well. Going forward, where do you see your championship chances, Jack? Do you think you could be up there with everybody else this season?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see myself winning both championships. I think I'd be a fool. But yeah, I think I'll be up there.
Well, good luck, Jack. Hopefully we will see you up there, bud. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Of course, Craig, I haven't been here long, but such a valuable member and such a valuable person, so
Absolutely.
very, very emotional evening and very upsetting.
Yeah, definitely as well. It has been as well tough for everyone. Jack, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll look forward to seeing how you get on as the season goes on, buddy.
Thank you for that.
Well, I think we can safely say, Zach, an emotional evening for everyone involved, really.
Yeah, all in all, I think it was quite a shock to see the announcement. But fair play to everyone. I mean, we've done exactly what I'm sure Craig would have wanted us to do, which was go out here, have some fun, kick the season off in style, and really, just have a blast. I mean, the last thing he would have wanted us to do would be moping around, not doing anything on Monday night. At least we've kept ourselves occupied. At least we started the season. At least we're ready to go. At least we're looking forward to more as well. Of course, looking forward to having Craig Jones back with us. But again, nice to see that everyone is on board. Nice to see that everyone's being so supportive. I mean, we saw that with the show of camaraderie at the end, and all in all, I think everyone's just pumped for an amazing season. Everyone seemed to have fun, albeit with a little bit of a shadow cast over it, with worries and uncertainty. But all things considered, I think we've had a fairly successful evening of racing, albeit maybe not the best of days. But he'll be back. He'll be happier than ever, and I'm sure it won't be too long until he's out there causing some trouble on the track.
Absolutely as well, guys. This is going to bring what has been quite an emotional evening for everybody within JPB to an end. So thank you so much to everyone that's joined us here this evening as well. If you want to get involved in the racing, please, you can with the JPB Discord link down in the description below as well. And as always, keep Craig in your prayers and hopes, guys. Love for his family as well. Keep fighting, Craig. You've got this, bud. And I'll look forward to seeing you all soon. But for now, guys, it's been an emotional evening. So I'm just going to round it off with a simple good night.